Welcome back to the channel. This is Punched. We're continuing to go through the Guderian Crosses the Meuse game that's in the Armored Knight series by Grognard Simulations. This is turn 12, and we're going to do a very quick, as it turns out, recap of the German operations phase and the French operations phase. This is the 1200 turn, 14 May 1940, and not terribly eventful, but we will discuss. So the Germans, for their part, they continue to dig in anticipation of the counterattack that their intelligence, lets them know is coming. Reasonable enough. We recovered the bridges here and here in preparation for moving them up to the canal. And we spent a heck of a lot of the German air assets to do airstrikes. So actually with fairly good effect. We wind up with a couple of suppressions here and here, but there were also two complete, you can't really see them, but we took out 2 battalions of French artillery and caused quite a considerable amount of confusion. All right, the French, for their part, are digging in. As you can see, some of the artillery units that got attacked are now digging in anticipation of future air attacks, which, yes, there will be. And we have a nice position going on here. As the French player, I do have to say I'm a little concerned about this sector right here. But unfortunately, the left half of my brain knows what the right half of my brain is thinking. And for the German part, I don't really want to go in here, at least not necessarily soon, because I know that as soon as I cross the canal, I'm going to have an entire corps of French units coming up. And so I don't really want to expose myself. I'm actually a little concerned about the exposure of the Grossdeutschland, brigade regiment down here. It's a bit exposed, but I think I will just simply go with it at this point. That's it. There are 2 more turns. Make that 3 more turns in a start of day interphase. And as the German player, I intend to move the bridging units up to the appropriate positions, and at the 0400 turn on the 15th, I will initiate the river crossings. So we'll see how that goes. So the 15th is shaping up, May 15th rather, the following day, is shaping up to be the big day for this particular battle, I think. One of the big days anyway. And that's it. So I had a question come in from one of the viewers in terms of asking for a comparison between the counter thicknesses, right? So here we have a counter, and I believe that's registering reasonably well. That's counter thickness right there. So this is a counter from Clash of Arms games, Labat series, La Bataille, and it's the Battle of Preußisch Eylau that I have played a number of times. So let's see if we can butt these up together. The particular question was on the counter thickness, and as you can see, it's pretty much a standard counter thickness, as I would say. So nothing particularly unusual here. And that's what I know about that. So I'll keep an eye out for other counter anomalies. I will say, let's see. I don't think I have it here. Nope, I don't. I will say that, so for Guderian Crosses the Meuse, I think you can just see the little counter nib on the top. These counters were cut particularly nicely, I would say. They have a very small nib on the top, a very small nib on the bottom, and that's it. No corner nibs. No additional material on the corners because of the way that the counters were die cut. So that's actually much appreciated. I will say that I think Grown-Yard Simulations went back, either they certainly changed vendors, or they either changed vendors, or perhaps the vendor themselves used a different technique, because in Armored Knights Case Blue Don Ben, the die-cut counters have gone back to a more traditional, this is not one of those counters, but they've gone back to a more traditional set where there are corner nibs, in fact. Yeah, I think I can do that. So I'll take one of the Clash of Arms counters. Yes, yes, indeed. So here's another Clash of Arms counters. And you can see, I think fairly well, you can see that there's extra material here on the corners of the counter. And so this is, it's not quite the same, but it's sort of representative of what you'll see in Don Bend. However, if you are truly a grown-yard, as they say, then you will be clipping your counters, and it will not be an issue in any event. In fact, I think, if you think about it, counter clipping really does not deal with these nibs on the top and the bottom. There's no convenient way to do so. I suppose you could take sandpaper or a pair of clippers and try and trim them down. But a corner clipper will do the job well every time. So it makes sense, I think, for going back to a more traditional die cut. But I can tell you that the nibs on the tiny little nibs on these counters have not been an impediment at all. They do not interfere with conduct of the game. So, all right. Yep, today is Wednesday. It is this 11 June 2025. Just for the record, this was turn 12 recap, the 1200 turn in 14 May 1940, Battle of Sedan, Grown-Yard Simulations Armored Knights series game of Guderian Crosses the Muse. Hope you liked it, and of course hit the like button if you will, and love the subscribers. I like to see the channel grow and people coming back to see more content. All right, that's it. Well, we'll see you down the road.